UX designers need to have a whole arsenal of skills to be successful. You really need a high level of interest and curiosity in other people, not just users, but also stakeholders.
As a UX designer, you're never working in isolation. You're always collaborating and you're always working with a larger team, mostly made up of non-designers. So you're working with tech people, you're working with BAs, or you're working with business people. And so the soft skills are really important for you as a UX designer.
Understanding the stakeholders and their needs in the organisation that you're working for, whether that's government or corporate, and being able to adapt your style quickly and tailor what the findings are and the recommendations that we're trying to make that have come from our research to influence and make sure that the decision makers have all the information available to them.
The same way we would go out and try and understand the user, we would be going to our stakeholders and understanding what their needs were and what we needed to deliver for them. And also then trying to tell a compelling story about why we're building the thing that we're building or why we're choosing the direction that we're doing.
A lot of the time that you're actually working with either clients or with your stakeholders is actually trying to convince them that the value of the work that you're doing.
Given what we've learnt from users, we've got to feed that information back to the client. And in a lot of cases, we actually have to be quite persuasive to be able to get them on board.
They're going to be the people that are taking your ideas and implementing them and getting them across the line. So if you want to see it in the world, you want to be able to convince them.
A lot of the time when you're speaking to clients, in those initial stages, you're running through the whole landscape and why you're doing things and why you're going from one step to the next step.
As a UX designer, it's really important that you understand the skills of communicating, of presenting. Otherwise, all of the work that you've done leading up to that moment becomes redundant. So if you've done weeks of research, weeks of design, and you've come to a point that you need to perhaps convince a room of stakeholders, this is the direction we should go. If you can't clearly articulate why they should go in that direction, you're really losing out on the process.
It can be challenging to feel pushback when you really have spent time with users and you've felt for them and you've got that connection with them.
Just because our stakeholders have said no once, that doesn't mean that it's no forever. So continue to persist and think about different ways that you can communicate that message that resonates more strongly with those stakeholders. The best way to get people on board, and in particular stakeholders, is to involve them throughout the process.
Take them on the journey, let them sit next to you as you're testing an interface. Take them into the field if you're conducting field research.
The more creative you can get in connecting your stakeholders or other people to the work that you do, the better outcomes you're going to achieve, both for yourself, for the project, and for the end user.
You don't need to be trying to sell or tell the story of what's happened because they've been there with you.
And they can see the richness of the content that's come from the users and then how it gets all synthesized together to come up with the insights and recommendations out of that. And that's really powerful. That in a lot of cases brings our stakeholders along, and then it makes our job so much easier.
Being a storyteller throughout the whole process. So not just presenting your idea at the end and going, hey, this is great. Creating empathy like right early on in the early phases and taking your team and stakeholders through the entire journey certainly goes a long way to create understanding of the user's needs and goals, as well as, get buy-in to the products that you're building.